So, are the drivers where you lived the worst in the UK? Well, let's have a look at this. This is a statement that a lot of people say, and it's a statement that I say as well. I have regularly said on the motoringchronicle.com that I firmly believe the worst drivers in the UK, in my experience anyway, are where I live in West Yorkshire. But do the stats back that up? Well, there's more than one way to define this. How do you define dangerous drivers? How do you define the worst drivers in the UK? If someone just cuts you up on the road, pulls out of a junction when they shouldn't do, doesn't indicate, you'll say, oh, they're a terrible driver. But how is this data collected? How is this found? How do you quantify this? Well, I found a few different ways of doing this, and I just wanted to go through them now with you guys. So I found a few different sources on this. The first of them is from passmefast.co.uk, and they give some interesting stats on how many points people have and where those people are located. So, according to this, there are 41 million full driver's license holders in the UK. That's about 2 in 3 people have a driver's license in the UK. In December 2019, so just under 5 years ago, of those 41 million license holders, around 2.7 million had some kind of points offence on there. Now, for those that don't know, I don't know if points are a thing in other countries for your licenses, but basically, if you do a driving offence and you get caught, you will get some kind of points on your licence for them most likely. It's things like speeding, dangerous driving, that sort of thing. If you get enough points on your licence will be taken away. So according to this, around 6.5% of people who have driver's license have some kind of penalty points on there. Now these points do go away after a while. I think if you have a speeding offence, it'll go away after 3 years. The points will go away. But that averages out to around 1 in 15 drivers in the UK that have some kind of motoring offence there. And using these points, and again, this isn't a perfect system, I'm going to go through some more of this as well, but according to this, surprisingly, the places where the people are actually, have these points on their licenses, the most frequent by percentage is Bath. Yeah, and it's not even close either. 14.3% of drivers in Bath have penalty points. Now you might be wondering, how is this data collected? Well, when in the UK, and again, I imagine it's similar for most countries, but when you live in the UK and you have a car, you have to register it to your address has a postcode, your postcode corresponds with an area, so using that data, they found that Bath is actually the highest. However, I am not surprised at all to see four places from West Yorkshire, 5 places from West Yorkshire in the following 6. Halifax, Bradford, Huddersfield, Leeds and Wakefield. They are all in and around where I live. I am not surprised at all to see them there. Not even in the slightest. Harrogate as well, another place in Yorkshire. A very different part of Yorkshire, North Yorkshire. But yeah, I'm not surprised to see my local establishments being so close. I'm so high on that list, sorry. So it's not looking good for West Yorkshire. I might have a point here with what I normally say, because going off this, it's not great. But some people might say, well, is speeding dangerous driving? Is going 5 miles an hour over the speed limit in the 30s, and is that really dangerous driving? And personally, if you asked me, I'd say kind of, it's not the worst thing you can do. The worst thing you can do is cause an accident, and that is where this data comes in. So this is from wittertowbars.co.uk, and they've got some really, really interesting. I did a video a bit ago about which gender is the worst driver. Look at the car by incidents by gender on here. Just a quick mention to that. Males, absolutely. What is that? It's got to be at least 60-70% involving men. Again, just backing that up. The age one was one we've already done, but let's have a look at the regions of the UK. So basically, North East, North West, Yorkshire, East and West Midlands, London, East Anglia, South East, South West. So these are all the different places. So which are the worst drivers? Well, according to this, just from sheer averages of being involved in accidents, it is, in fact, London. Now, this goes along with a lot of what people are saying. I've had a lot of people comment saying that people in East London, people in Essex, I know Essex is not a part of London, guys, but it's near it, they are the worst drivers in the UK. Every year, 1 in 343 people in London are involved in a car accident. And the lowest rate, according to this, in England anyway, is the Northwest, surprisingly. 1 in 538 people are involved in a car accident. So yeah, my West Yorkshire thing, not looking, it's one of the worst at 1 in 416, but there we go. In terms of causing accidents, London is the worst by some distance in the UK. The closest one to it is the southeast, which is next to London, of course, at 1 in 389. But what about the cities? Which are the worst cities? Well, according to this, Brighton is the worst by far. 1 in 200 drivers within Brighton are involved in a car accident every year. That is a scary stat. The next closest is Nottingham at 1 in 336. You've then got Newcastle at 1 in 348, Birmingham 371, Bournemouth 375, Leeds, and for some reason is they might have typed that wrong or something, because that should be higher up. If it's 336, that should be the same as Nottingham if that's the correct number. Leicester 390, Southampton 399, Liverpool 410, Derby 427, Bradford, there we go, that's near me, 430, York 451, Wolverhampton 466, Sheffield 485, my hometown representing, and Huddersfield, where I live, absolutely shockingly, it's not even on there. I'm stunned by that. And Leeds and Bradford representing for West Yorkshire though. But we always hear the things about which drivers are the worst. Oh, Beamer drivers, Audis, Mercedes, terrible Teslas, they're awful drivers. But who's the worst? According to this, it's one of my favourite car brands. It's Honda. Honda. If you own a Honda, you are more likely to be in an accident, statistically, than any other car brand on the market in the UK. I am stunned by that. Shockingly, the usual suspects, who you would expect to be the usual suspects, aren't even on here. Volvo at 2, Suzuki at 3, Mercedes, yeah, that's not surprising, they're at 4, Mitsubishi, Citroen, Toyota, Renault, Vauxhall, Seat, Peugeot. Where are the usual suspects? There they are. BMW at 13th, Audi at 15th. That's stunning. We don't see Tesla on here. But yeah, that is shocking. Although, me driving a Kia, I'm apparently one of the safest drivers in the UK statistically, so I will take that. But yeah, some really, really interesting one. If you're wondering about the actual worst offender, well, this one makes sense. It's the Vauxhall Corsa. Of course, it's the Vauxhall Corsa. In fact, Vauxhall have the dishonourable top 2, the Astra being 2nd. Ford Transit, the Ford Transit van is 3rd. Now, this is just in overall crashes. This is not per car, so Corsas being very common, Astras being very common, Fiestas and Transits being very common, as does the Focus. That does skew the stats. It's not per car owner, but just overall, the total number of crashes, the most popular on there is that. I'm never getting to drink driving and stuff like that, which is maybe another video for another day. But yeah, that's a whole different level of dangerous driving. So yeah, to answer the question, guys, in terms of driving offences, the worst drivers in the UK are those in Bath. In terms of the region, if you're talking about accidents, London is the worst offender, and if you're talking about the city, it is in fact the wonderful seaside town of Brighton. It's not even close. Yeah, unbelievable stuff, guys. So there we go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Of course, keep subscribed to themotoringchronicle.com for more critiques on British drivers. You guys really seem to like them. I enjoy doing them as well. But yeah, we'll see you very soon for some more motoring content here on themotoringchronicle.com.